Yeah, so the thing is, I want it to be natural. I don't want it to look like I'm setting it up for a documentary. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be like I'm telling my story, but it's not like the most predictable thing ever when I sit down. Already? Of course I'm ready. Yeah, let's get it started. No, let's go. Let's do it. My name is Cameron Wilson, and I'm the illustrator for Cheesesteaks and Clippers. Part 2. 2. So I got the message from Trey that he was ready to start book 2 for Cheesesteaks and Clippers. You know, a lot of you might know I did the first illustrations for the previous book. So when he asked me to do, gearing up for the second one, I was more than excited because I like to continue the story where we kind of left off and just seeing where we can go with things. Like I tell Trey, like I tell a lot of my clients, I'm always here to compliment what the writer has done or what they're trying to accomplish. I grew up watching Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera, the Jetsons and the Flintstones. And I also grew up watching, Fat Albert. That's the first time to me, it was the first time I actually seen characters of color, real people that look like myself. That stuck with me, as a kid. And I think the next time I saw that around was when Bebe's Kids came out. It wasn't not only the fact that they were black characters, but it had culture. It had our culture, and you could feel it. It wasn't something that was manufactured. You can feel us, the culture in these cartoons, especially with Fat Albert. Rudy was my favorite character with the hat. You know what I mean? Which is one of the reasons why I wear those now. And then with Bebe's Kids, you just felt the character. You can feel the culture in those characters. And when I started illustrating and coming into my own with the way that I developed my characters, those were the very things that were on my mind. As an illustrator, illustration and book writing has become a big thing today. There's so many tools and resources out there for you to create, which I love, but one of the things that I feel like we're missing, if you're trying to do black children's books or books of color, is the cultural aspects of it. You know what I mean? Anybody can draw a character and make him black in complexion or skin, but it has to embody the culture of who you are as who we are as people. You have to feel that in order for it to become real and actually be relatable within the story. It has to be a situation where young people or black people of color or whatever can actually feel themselves being in these situations. That's one of the things that I love about creating these books, the Cheesesteaks and Clippers, is because you feel that culture within the story. It's one thing telling the story, it's another to be able to relate, that whole barbershop experience, that whole experience of being a young child and wanting to experience entrepreneurship and what it looks like in our community. You know what I mean? Those are real moments. And just taking my art and taking real stories and taking my art and combining it, I just, I feel like my job is to complement that story, complement what it is that the writer is trying to tell. The cool thing about doing the Cheesesteaks and Clippers series is this actually based off of real events. These are real people, and he just telling a story through his community and things that Trey's seen growing up. So when he first approached me about creating the Mr. Sam character, he gave me an idea, gave me a brief description of what he looked like, and it just gave me a feel of the visual of the person. And so when I actually created the character and ran it back to him, he was blown away because he's like, yo, this looks just like the real Mr. Sam. I got to send you a picture of him so you can actually see. And when he sent me the actual picture, I saw the likeness. Everything that he described, you know, I saw it in the individual and in the real Mr. Sam. And I was just tripped out because, you know, this is just, you know, just conversation and just giving me, you know, an idea of what the actual person was like, and just being able to create that character just off of him just telling me about this experience had blew me away. I mean, it's the same thing with all the other characters. I had a chance to see Fast Tommy and Santana, Ernesto, you know, just basically creating characters that are relatable, but also pulling the likeness and feel of the actual person, you know, which helps create, you know, a story. We'll say I have my own unique style. I have a way of creating my characters, and, you know, when people say they see a Cam De Illa illustration or they see my work, they know exactly, they can identify it. They know exactly who created that. And that's what I wanted to do. I essentially wanted to brand myself. It's not so much that all my characters look alike. It's just more or less creating a brand. So when people see it, they can identify it. They know, oh, that's Cam De Illa. I think what makes things unique is taking my style, the way that I illustrate, and taking, you know, the likeness of an individual and bringing it to that world, kind of meshing things to where it's still Cam, it's still my illustrations, it's still my style, but you can see that individual in my design, you know. And I think that's what kind of separates myself from a lot of illustrators, is because, you know, I feel like branding is very important into what I do and to any business. You know, you want people to identify you, and you want people to understand and know your brand, you know what I mean? And so trying to just keep my style, the whole cohesiveness of things, and, you know, taking the likeness of an individual and bringing it into that world is what makes, you know, what makes my illustrations unique. What makes the Cheesesteaks and Clippers series unique is, with us starting a series, you know, each book has its own story. It's continuous. It leaves kind of off from the last one, but it also is a new story. So where if you was to pick up one, you know, you can still follow along. You know, there's a lot of lessons in this new series, and I really enjoy working on this one. But something that I can identify myself is entrepreneurship. And I like the fact that we explored that with the characters, with Ernesto being able to learn about entrepreneurship. And then, you know, we got the camaraderie between him and Santana, you know, the friendship. Another aspect that I really appreciated in there was the social aspects between Ernesto and Santana, and meeting the new character Jay in the book. I feel like the social aspect was really important too, because, you know, in today's world, you know, bullying has always been around, but there's always been that thing of where one kid has more than the other one, and the kid that has a little less is always the one that gets picked on. But you didn't get that energy from Ernesto to Jay. You know, it was a very positive reinforcement that him and Santana have, and, you know, just the positive aspects of wanting to help my guy out, help the new kid out, and seeing a situation where he can kind of take charge and, you know, help the new kid out. I don't want to say too much about the story or whatnot, but I really enjoy the social aspects of things and the leadership of the Ernesto character that we didn't really get in the first one. But I really enjoy the fact of we're taking, you know, real people, real circumstances, and putting it into a story that's relatable to everyone. Everyone should be able to identify these type of characters in their real life, you know, and that's what makes the story special. Trey, I just want to say thank you again, brother. You know, you're doing something really special, not only for the community, but, you know, just for our entire community as a whole, man. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I wish you the best. I can't wait till we start working on book 3. You know, it's going to be exciting, and let's just keep the story going, man. Let's just keep developing, and, you know, just keep it inspiring and bringing something new to the table that has never been done before. You know what I mean? And thank you again for allowing me to help share your story and complement the amazing things that you're doing right now, bro. Appreciate it.